Hi everyone. So previous class we have discussed about electrostatic boundary conditions that are boundary between conductor and free space, boundary between two perfect dielectric materials discussed in or derived in previous classes. So in this class we are going to discuss about magnetic boundary conditions. So first of all, what is the boundary condition? When the field is passed from one medium to other medium, one medium to other medium is called as boundary condition. What is electric boundary condition? Electrostatic boundary condition. When the electric field passes from one medium to other medium are called as electrostatic boundary condition. What is magnetostatic boundary condition? When the magnetic field passes from one medium to other medium are called as magnetic boundary conditions or boundary conditions of magnetic fields. The vector form of the magnetic field intensities can be resolved into two components. So that are tangential to the boundary and normal to the boundary. Tangential to the boundary and normal to the boundary. So consider a boundary between two isotropic materials or two homogeneous or linear materials with different permeabilities. What are the permeabilities? In region 1, the permeability mu1, in region 2, the permeability mu2. So to determine the boundary conditions, let us use the closed path and Gaussian surface, closed Gaussian surface shown in figure. And this is the figure. In this figure, this is the boundary line. This is the boundary line. This boundary line is separated by two mediums or two regions, two isotropic regions, homogeneous region. So what are the permeabilities? In medium 1, the permeability is mu1. In medium 2, the permeability mu2. In general, the permeability mu is equal mu naught into mu r. Mu naught is the permeability of the free space and mu r is the relative permeability of the medium. So in medium 1, what is the relative permeability? Mu r1. In medium 2, what is the relative permeability? Mu r2. In medium 1 or region 1, B tangential 1 is the BT1 is the tangential component of the magnetic flux density in medium 1. B tangential 2 is the magnitude of the magnetic flux density in medium 2. And similarly, H tangential 1 and H tangential 2 are the tangential component of the magnetic field intensity in medium 1 and medium 2. Similarly, normal components. H normal 1 and H normal 2 is the normal components of the magnetic field intensity in region 1 and region 2. And similarly, B normal 1 and B normal 2. So B normal 1 and B normal 2 are the magnitude of the magnetic flux density, magnitude of the Bn1 normal component of the magnetic flux density in region 1 and Bn2 is the normal component of the magnetic flux density in region 2 or medium 2. To determine magnetic boundary conditions, let us use closed path. This is the closed path and this is the Gaussian surface. Let us consider the closed path and Gaussian surface. So in this closed path, half of the rectangular path is in medium 1 and the remaining half in medium 2. And the width of the path A to B is parallel to the boundary. That width is delta W. And path C to D is also parallel to the boundary, that is in region 2. That width is also delta W, but the path C to D is opposite to the path A to B. and the height of the rectangular path is delta h. Delta h. Path B22 height is delta h by 2 and 22C height is delta h by 2. The path D2A is similar to path B2C but in opposite direction. And this is the Gaussian surface. Is in the form of the right circular cylinder. Height of the Gaussian surface is delta h. So this Gaussian surface, half of the cylinder is in region 1 and half of the cylinder in region 2. Delta S is a surface area and top surface area and bottom surface area. So first calculate the normal component of the magnetic field. Normal component of the magnetic field intensity and magnetic flux density. So to find the normal component of the magnetic flux density, select a closed Gaussian surface in the form of the right circular cylinder that is shown in figure. So according to Gauss law for magnetic field. So what is the Gauss law for magnetic field? Closed surface integral of V bar dot ds4 is equal to 0. So now here consider the closed Gaussian surface. That closed Gaussian surface can be evaluated into three parts. That is top of the surface, top of the cylinder, bottom of the cylinder and lateral part of the cylinder. Lateral means side of the cylinder. So the closed surface integral of V bar dot ds bar can be divided into three parts, three integrals. That is top integral of V bar dot ds bar plus bottom integral of V bar dot ds bar plus lateral integral of V bar dot ds bar. So first individually calculate top of the surface, bottom of the surface and lateral part of the surface. Substitute all these three values into this equation. We get resultant expressions of the normal boundary conditions expressions. As we know, what is the height of the cylinder? Delta h. The height of the Gaussian surface is delta h. That height reduces to 0. As delta h tends to 0, the cylinder tends to boundary. Reduces to boundary. So only the top and bottom surfaces contributes in the surface integral. The lateral side of the integral will be 0. The height will be reduces. So the lateral surface integral of V bar dot ds bar value is 0. Next calculate top surface. So the magnetic flux density can be assumed to be constant. The normal component of the magnetic flux density in medium 1 and medium 2 are Bn1 and Bn2. That magnetic flux density can be assumed to be constant. So B1 is equal to Bn1 and B2 is equal to Bn2. So the top of the surface integral. The top surface integral of V bar dot ds bar is equal. Magnetic flux density can be assumed to be constant. So that B is equal to B normal 1 in medium 1. B normal 1 is a normal component of the magnetic flux density in region 1 or medium 1. Bn1 top integral of ds. What is the top of the surface area? Delta s. That is Bn1 into delta s. And the bottom surface is similar to top surface but in opposite direction. So the bottom surface integral of V bar dot ds bar is minus Bn2 delta s. And substitute these three values into closed surface integral of V bar dot ds bar is equal to 0 expression. We have top integral value is Bn1 delta s and bottom integral is minus Bn2 delta s plus lateral integral is 0 is equal to 0. So on LHS side delta s is common. Bn1 minus Bn2 is equal to 0. So therefore Bn1 is equal to Bn2. So magnetic boundary condition. The normal component of the magnetic flux density in medium 1 is equal to normal component of the magnetic flux density in medium 2. Thus, the normal component of the magnetic flux density is continuous at the boundary. Next, calculate normal component of the magnetic field intensity. But we know that the relationship between magnetic field intensity and magnetic flux density is V bar is equal to mu into H bar. In this equation, Bn1 is equal mu1 into Hn1, Bn2 is equal mu2 into Hn2. But we know that normal component of the flux density in medium 1 is equal normal component of the flux density in medium 2. Bn1 is equal to Bn2. So using relation between B is equal to mu into H, that expression Bn1 is equal mu1 into Hn1, mu2 is Bn2 is mu2 into Hn2. So that is equal Hn1 by Hn2 is equal mu2 by mu1 or mu r2 by mu r1. Hn1 is the normal component of the magnetic field intensity in medium 1. Hn2 is the normal component of the magnetic field intensity in medium 2. Mu1 is the permeability in medium 1 and mu2 is the absolute permeability in medium 2. Mu R1 is the relative permeability in medium 1. Mu R2 is the relative permeability in medium 2. So that are boundary conditions for normal components. So similarly calculate boundary conditions for tangential components. So consider the closed path. The closed path is placed in such a way that the closed path can be evaluated in clockwise direction. That is path A to B, path B to C, path C to D, and path D to A. That can be traced in or evaluated in clockwise direction. And the width of path AB width is delta W and height is delta H. In that closed rectangular path is placed in such a way that and half of the closed path is in medium 1 and remaining half is in medium 2. So according to Ampere's circuit law, what is Ampere's circuit law? Closed line integral of H bar dot dl bar is equal to current enclosed by that path. So the closed line integral will be divided into 6 parts. The closed path can be traced in clockwise direction. Because of that, the closed line integral of H bar dot dl bar is split into 6 parts. That is path A to B plus B to 2 plus 2 to C plus C to D plus D to 1 and 1 to A, shown in figure, from the figure. So therefore, integral A to B H bar dot dl bar plus integral B to 2 H bar dot dl bar plus integral 2 to C H bar dot dl bar plus integral C to D H bar dot dl bar plus integral D to 1 H bar dot dl bar plus integral 1 to A H bar dot dl bar is equal current enclosed by that path. So individually calculate the values. And first term, the magnetic field intensity can be assumed to be constant. In medium 1, H is equal to H tangential 1. In medium 2, H is equal to H tangential 2. So what is the path A to B? That path A to B, that magnetic field intensity is considered as a constant. H tangential 1 into integral A to B dl bar. So what is the width of the path A to B? Delta W. Because of that, integral A to B H bar dot dl bar is H tangential 1 delta W plus and B to C. So that B to C is parallel to the normal component. So because of that, H normal 1 into what is the height? Delta H by 2. B to 2. Path B to 2. Path B to T is perpendicular to the boundary. Normal components will present. Because of the H normal 1. What is the height of the B to 2? Delta H by 2 plus H and 2. Path 2 to C. That path 2 to C is also normal to the boundary. That component is H and 2. What is that height? Delta H by 2. Next path C to D. The path C to D is same as path E to B, but opposite direction. So that is minus H into delta W. C to D width is also delta W. Next D21. So that D21 is normal to the boundary. Normal to the boundary. That D21 is similar to 2 to C, but in opposite direction. So minus H into delta H by 2 and 1 to A is also is similar to B to 2 but opposite direction. Minus H N1 delta H by 2. And the current enclosed by the path. So the current enclosed by the path is K into delta W or dW. Now here Hn1 delta H by 2 minus Hn1 delta H by 2 plus Hn2 delta H by 2 minus Hn2 delta H by 2 is cancelled. So therefore the remaining expression K delta W is equal H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2 into delta W. So on both sides delta W is cancelled. The remaining expression H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2 is equal to K. K is the magnitude of the surface current density. So in the vector form, the above expression may also be represented as H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2 is equal A n12 bar A n12 bar cross K bar, where A n12 bar is the unit vector in the direction normal at the boundary from medium 1 to medium 2. The tangential component of the magnetic flux density can be related with the permeability of the two medium or two regions. So this is the relation of the tangential component, tangential component of the magnetic field intensity. Next, calculate tangential component of the magnetic flux density. This is the relation V is equal to mu into H bar. So using that relation, B tangential 1 by mu1 minus B tangential 2 by mu2 is equal to K. B tangential 1 is the tangential component of the magnetic flux density in region 1. And B tangential 2 is the tangential component of the magnetic flux density in region 2. For source free region, there is no current density. So K bar is equal to 0. K is equal to 0. Therefore, tangential component of the magnetic field intensity in region 1 is equal to tangential component of the magnetic field intensity in region 2. So the tangential component is continuous at the boundary.